park. I think this might be Bolt Park. I don't remember for sure what it's called. Oh yeah, I played a concert on a stage right there once. For the city of Grand Haven. Ooh, I'm out of tune. Grand Haven, Michigan, that is. That's where I am. So, yeah, enjoying the green everywhere. And it's a little windy outside. This morning was a really important day. I'm sitting in the place where Brian and I had a picnic one time on a break from work for him and me. I feel like it was before the pandemic actually, but I could be wrong. And we brought folding chairs and like strawberries and stuff, and we sat here and I don't remember what else. Maybe I think we made like grilled tuna steaks, ahi tuna. And we sat here and we had a little picnic lunch. My mind is really weird. I focus on whatever's the strongest memory in a space, and honestly, a lot of times it's a bad memory. Not with him specifically, but just in life. If something has they say that's how memory works, a strong memory, but I'm a really emotional person, so I remember a lot of things strongly, good and bad. So I'll remember something really positive. And so the philosophy that I feel like I've almost been teaching the gospel of the last few years of like, you can plant new memories on old places. It may be true, but you would have to plant like a really, 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 really positive memory in a space to counteract a really, really negative memory, a really dark memory. So unless you want to go to all your old places and do that, if you plant these like neutral or kind of lukewarm memories on top of places that have like severe trauma for you, you're still going to drive by and remember the trauma, and then there's just going to be these series of lukewarm years that you spent kind of going through the motions and trying to be happier in a place. It's like you either really do it or you don't. And I think that's what I decided about here. It's like, of course I've learned how to make something work. If a place is sad for you because of some things that happened in it, it doesn't mean it has to be permanently sad. You could plant some insanely good memories in that same place and kill whatever darkness it is that's trying to eat you alive. Or you could just move somewhere else. Bless the space, make your peace with the people or the places or the situations. I've continued to pray for, not always, my mood is very based on whether or not I am thinking positively or caring about people who hurt me. And if I'm remembering to like pray for people who hurt me, pray for people who misled me, pray for people who we're selfish, we're greedy, we're all the things, Most of the times I think of what Jesus said on the cross of like, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. If people knew the way they were impacting my life with random assertions and forceful ways of misleading somebody like me or dominating someone like me, like if people knew what kind of growth that was causing in a sensitive person, I don't think they would do it as much, or they would do it exactly as much. But then that's the thing I believe they need forgiveness for, because why would you want to come down onto a beautiful, beautiful planet like this and dominate other people? I want to be a source of light and joy in the world, but I don't want to dominate you. I want to be in your mind, but not in a dominant way. I want to help you awaken to the thing that you already are. I want you to, from within the cloud, from within the fog and the sadness that you may be feeling, I want you to remember that you also feel like this. This channel is essentially for sensitive people. I don't know why I'm crouching down. I can give you trees. I have a habit of like scrunching my shoulders over, and like I was just telling Brian, like he noticed I've been standing up straighter this year, but it's been COVID and I've barely been around anyone but him and people who make me feel really safe and respected. And so I was realizing when I'm in public I tend to do this a lot more so that I'm not sticking out my chest, so that I'm not making you feel uncomfortable in my bigger than life presence. When I was younger, I used to feel like I took up a lot of space, and I'm only 4'11". I knew I took up a lot of space. I thought very highly of myself. I worked really hard hard for every grade that I got, and I worked very passionately, connecting and talking to teachers and just caring about what I did. And that caused a lot of resentment in my peers, or a lot of just annoyance. I was annoying to people. It's gross. It's a terrible thing to, I don't know. And I understand the other side of the coin, like, because I have been on the other side where I've just envied people who are successful, and I've envied people who seem like everything's just coming easily for them, and they're like getting the awards and the articles written about them, and they're getting to play on big stages, and here I am with my little YouTube feeling like an imposter, even though I've been at this for 15 years, not the YouTube, but the music scene or the music industry since Chicago. And it's just like, some of it is my own lack of effort, but some of it is doors that just didn't open for me. And my style of music, my sort of gentleness and all that. And I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna write. Sometimes my rambles lead into songs, but that one definitely didn't. Okay, here we go. I mean, it did, but I didn't really want to write a song that started with I don't know. Plus, I feel like there's gonna be bugs crawling up. I feel like there's a little hole where I'm sitting, a little indentation. I don't really want ants to bite me, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah. in your mind. Like a tidal wave, it just forces its way into you. Like a light, like a great idea, like an epiphany too. My epiphany here. That I don't have to choose anything anymore. It will choose me. It will grow forward like a seed grows to the sky, and I'm the seed and you're 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 the great big sky. All I need to know is written in my code, my DNA, mixed with all I see, mixed with all I need, mixed with where I'm planted or where we're going. It's crazy and strange how the world needs to change until we are knowing things. It feels crazy, it feels so long-winded, it feels like a song that wasn't edited. It just goes on and on and on. But you want the song, you believe the song. Yeah, you want the song, you believe the song. Well, it says low battery, so I'll show you the park. There you go. I'm doing Noom these days, so I'm not YouTubing as much, which is probably great because it just fills up my phone and it's something to do to pass the time, and Noom is incredibly involved. And so I don't have any excuses. I've always had plenty of time to pass the time. If anything, I've always felt the complaint of too much free time now that I have streamlined my life and my business and everything. So there's only so many songs you can write. I mean, if I'm honest, if I really have so much free time, why am I not producing my albums more and doing all kinds of other things? And I think what I really mean is, I think I like relaxing like the man who wants to go fish every day, and it's like being retired in advance. There's a part of me that wants to get work done and have these big dreams, but I almost wonder sometimes if the bigger part of me doesn't want to have big dreams and just wants to already be a version of retired and cared for by the universe. And if so, if that were really what I wanted, I already live in a place for that. You have to get let go of dreams of fame or dreams of success or changing your income level or any of those kind of things if you want to just float the way I tend to float living here in Grand Haven. But I don't know. Anyway, I have goals. I can't lie and say I don't have goals. I have big goals. I want to do library shows. I want to do little kid shows. I want to finish the creative project that was in the works for my niece. Well, all my nieces and nephews. But it started with her, and it was in a discussion with my brother. I mean, it's just, I have huge things that I wanted to do. It's sort of like, I want to get married, I want to buy a house, and Brian wants a dog. There's all these things, and they're not big deal dreams maybe, but especially not to people who've already been doing things like that with their life. But like, and I still want to do a lot of stuff with music. I want to finish a lot of albums, and anyway, so sometimes I just think my pace is almost like someone who's already retired who just happens to teach 30 piano students. And like, that's when I say I'm bored and I have all this free time, it's like, why am I not then applying it towards serious things? And it's like, well, watch my YouTube channel, you can see that that's clearly not what I want. I don't seem to want a very serious life. So I've been trying to like come to terms with that and accept the fact that like a lot of people who want to be like a famous singer-songwriter or in a famous band and do big high-level things, it's not just luck, it's also effort. I've seen read articles about people, and I've just noticed that the level of effort on a daily basis that some people want to put into things is just much higher than what I want to put into things. Because for me, the dreamiverse, hold on, low battery. For me, the dreamiverse, dreamland, like my kids' album is called Dreambird in Rainbow Land. Sorry. Like, it's not finished, but like it exists in the ether. And like both Rainbow Land and Dreambird and Dreamland and rainbows and all that. I mean, it's like so obvious that I want to live in imagination and feelings. So I'm trying not to like expect myself to rewrite that. I'm trying to just allow it. Like, I'm a 43, because I had my birthday, I'm a 43-year-old woman who's transitioning from a childlike mental state to almost am wanting to skip and just be like a weird old lady. I don't know. I can't figure it out. But anyway, my goals are like kind of weird too. Like, I want to like travel around. Okay, so here, I'll tell you my whole thing. I just told my brother this. I haven't talked about, but like, I want to keep my number of piano students that I have. And then now that my piano studio is fully virtual, I want to like multiple times a year, I'll start in Michigan in small ways, but I want to like multiple times a year start like contacting libraries and doing this little show that I've scripted out that starts with like a show about Dreambird and like how to get into Rainbow Land and like it's this fantasy little world, and it'll have visuals I gotta make, I don't know, and art that I have to make, but I feel nervous to start because a lot of my art has been too lo-fi DIY looking. But anyway, but you just gotta start where you are, Jess. There you go. Note to self. Because like It's Raining Tacos is popular, and that's crappy looking art. So like, I know that I can do that level of art. No offense, It's Raining Tacos, but like, I just need to figure it out and allow myself to make mistakes on the journey. I have to allow myself to not like what I make. I have to allow myself to use my own inner compass on whether or not something is good yet or funny, or whether it's like close but kind of missing the mark. So my kids' YouTube channel is going to be pretty much the exact opposite of this. It's going to be very refined and very slow to release, and I'm only going to release things that are like finished, I think. I mean, that's the plan. And like, I'm not planning to like release a bunch of content for kids. I just sort of want the main songs and the main characters and the main stories up there as they come. The main goal is more like releasing music for kids, so it'd be more audio oriented. So like, you could listen to the full song or story on Spotify, for instance, or Bandcamp. Bandcamp's going to be my main hub. I'm going to model it all after my music career. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I love Bandcamp, I love Instagram, and I love YouTube. And I'm just going to use those 3 resources that I already always use and love, and just do it for my kids' album. And I'm going to not even do an album. I'm going to probably do all singles, because I've noticed the world doesn't really function in albums anymore. They function in like a story plus a song, a single podcast. And it's like, people have an attention span for days, so long as you break it into tiny chunks for them. No one wants a whole album that they wait 5 years for anymore. They want just this little episode, or just this song, or just this story, And so I'm going to piece it out and give it cute to me art. I'll try to make it look uniform and unified, and then I'll post these on Instagram too, so that I can build a following there. I'll probably make it very character based and silly. And then when all 3 things are kind of looking clear and obvious, like as to what it is, and I also will have a link on my actual website, or I'll create its own website probably. Yeah. But no like mailing lists, none of that stuff. Nobody does that anymore. I mean, some people do, but I don't need to be old school. I'm just going to have some sort of social media and or internet visibility, and then write to libraries. And I'm going to do it all over the country. And I have friends all over the country, but I'll probably start in Michigan, and then Minnesota, where my brother and parents live, and then Colorado, where my sister's family lives. And I will just like write to libraries and see where I can do after COVID, obviously. This is like a 3 years from now kind of plan. And I will write to libraries, and I'll just try to book I'll try to get like a recurring once a year show gig at some different libraries. And then the show it'd be like a 2-part show. It would start with sort of the show, the characters, and I would play piano, play ukulele. I'd have a visual where they could see the characters in that Raining Tacos sort of way. You could see the cartoon version or the sketchy doodle version of me. But then you'd also see me with like wings on and like my little goofy mask and maybe a cloud halo. I don't know. And I would be Dreambird and I'd be the one telling you the story. And you'd be seeing the same visuals that you'd see on YouTube, but they'd be muted, and I'd be playing them live so that kids could kind of understand, like so that they can realize you can be a creator too, kind of like with the Muppets, Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers. All of those worlds really affected me as a kid. They changed me from the inside out, you know? And so I'm going to try to provide a live version to help kids see the connection, and then also take them into the dream-averse in their minds. And also, I mean, anyone's going to know that I'm also Jessica and the Rainbow, so it's also like a tool to deal with trauma or sinking into the puddles of sadness that we all have. So it's a tool to get out of that, and you can still, I'm not going to hide it. Like, you can go to my Jitter and Rainbow Land Mr. Rogers for Adults show, or How to Be Your Authentic Self, 7 videos, YouTube series, me rambling my entire life story. It's like, I'm not going to try to hide who I am. I'm not trying to separate the two. I'm more just trying to be very intentional and crafted and branded for kids, because I think for kids I do understand it. I think for an adult music thing where I'm trying to bring authenticity and beauty into the world in that kind of way, I think I don't have what it takes to be crafted and branded for the adult stuff, because I just always felt like that fell in the same category as like being 20 or 21 years old and having to like repress your memories and repress your feelings and just be a functional worker in society. Whereas for kids, I do understand the idea of curating and crafting and branding. That's like those books, like The Circle That's Always Angry, or The Square That's Always... I said triangle, square, and I made a triangle, but you know what I mean. It's like those books, or like Dr. Seuss. It's like, or like caricature style characters on like the Muppets or Sesame Street or any of those, where you just kind of feel like there's archetypes, and in theater that makes sense to me. I think it just, in the indie music scene, it didn't make sense to me, because we were supposed to go to like basements and like hang out and be like our real selves, but then like get up on a stage, but it wasn't even a stage, it was just the other side of the basement, and you were supposed to like be a performer, and I never could find that separation in the indie music scene. So I would get up on the stage and I would still be myself, but then I would go deep into this really heavy song and then open my eyes, and it was just like my friends and some people I don't know, and I would read the room, and I just couldn't get into like I'm a performer mode. My whole time in the indie music scene in Michigan, I never felt like a performer, even on a big stage. The closest I felt to being a performer was on the Pyramid Scheme stage. But even then, if I saw, you know, my bandmate right there in the front row, I was just like pulled out of it, because I didn't feel allowed to play a character as Jessica and the Rainbow. I felt like I had to bring you my exact true self on a stage, which I still believe. But I think that's why it's been hard for me to craft a brand. It's like, no, you can't craft a brand if you believe in authenticity to the degree that I do. But I think, yeah, for kids stuff, I don't think it has to get into the topic of authenticity. It can just stay in the world of imagination, and there can be characters, and I can be a character, and that hopefully will feel a little different for me. But also, whatever. I just love doing that stuff. I used to work for a touring children's theater, and I was the narrator, and I would play funny songs, and I would like have sunglasses on. Oh, here's some sunglasses. Oh, there's my keyboard. Here, I'll act one out for you. So I would be like narrating from my hair's being crazy. I'd be like, wait, that's not low enough. It was on a bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of quiet. And I'd be doing that for like pre-show warm-up time. And then I'd get really into it. And And then as it was going on, because it was just, we were just waiting for the show to start, then I'd be like, and I'd start getting so into it. Hang on, these aren't loose enough. I don't want to break Brian's glasses. But then I'd be like, it's not working. These are not loose enough. But then I'd like shake my head like I was so into it, like, yeah. And then the glasses would go flying off like into the audience because I was getting so into it. And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd go flying and whatever. Why am I breaking Brian's glasses? And this is like 15 years ago that I had that job, but that stuck with me, all of it. And my friend, Andrea, I'm still friends with her. Like, I met some great people from that place, and it was just like a kindred spirits thing. Like people who grew up on like Saturday Night Live or Mad TV or like whatever, and we were just goofy weirdos, and we went into schools and we took kids' stories through that company and we turned them into plays. And some of it was improv and some of it was they mailed them in advance and we made them up in the hotel room the night before. And we traveled all over the country doing this. And I don't ever want to do that full time again. We did it like 5 weeks back in Chicago and then 5 weeks on the road, and it was oscillating and it was hard to like build a life or buy groceries or just pay bills. It was very crazy. But for a short time it was really nice. And so my dream is less intense than that. My dream is more like I have my home life with my hubby, which I hope he will be someday. And then, you know, we live in Michigan, but like right at the edge, and I can travel to Chicago, or I can travel to one of those places and book some library shows. And I'm just rambling about myself now. I mean, this whole thing's about myself, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying anything new. Oh, I see. I was just trying to say I'm not trying to like travel. In case you watch this, Brian, or if anyone else is like, wow, she doesn't even want to be by her significant other and she wants to travel half the year. No, I don't. I want to travel like a third of the year or less. But I do love travel. And who knows? If it goes well, then maybe Brian can come on the road with me and be my sound engineer. And who knows? I have too many dreams. This is true. I read recently about multi-potentialites. I think I talked about that the other day. And, what's the other word for it? Well, we know no, I don't want to say that word. I don't like that word anymore. Anyway. If you say it out loud. It's like my mouth goes in then, I think, sometimes. It's probably good that I don't make as many of these as I used to, because that's not really a great habit to have. I'm broken out. Anyway. Bye.